residential planet of the personality of Godhead, Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, is situated. Before reaching there, the mystic passes over the Milky Way to reach Brahmaloka, and while going there, he first reaches Vaishvanara Loka, where the demigod controls fire. On Vaishvanara Loka, the yogi becomes completely cleansed of all dirty sins acquired while in contact with the material world. The Milky Way in the sky is indicated herein as the way leading to Brahma Loka, the highest planet of the universe. Now here basically in this particular text, we are trying to understand an accomplished yogi who can meditate upon the super soul, and by that meditation can leave his body. When he is trying, the journey will be through the different planets while going back to Godhead, and he will not be taking birth or will not descend to any of those planets. Prabhupada writes, within the material worlds, these yogis move in the planetary systems of Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Shattaloka, and beyond the material worlds, this is the residence. Those who are in pure consciousness have this capacity. They can move into Vaikunthas as unrestricted spacemen. Now, text 25, translation. This Shishumara is the pivot for the turning of the complete universe, and it is called the navel of Vishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. The yogi alone goes beyond the circle of Shishumara and attains the planet Mahaloka, where purified saints like Bhrigu enjoy a duration of life of 4.3 billion solar years. This planet is worshipable even for saints who are transcendentally situated. So here, basically, the journey of the accomplished yogi is continuing. He is going further up. And as per the script here, it says, basically, Shushumna circle, the Shushuma circle is also described here. That Shushuma is a circle that's described as being like the navel of the universal form of the Lord, and all the planets circumambulate around the Shushuma circle. And in the center of that circle is the pole star, meaning that all the planets, keeping their right side to the pole star, they circumambulate the planet of Lord Vishnu within this universe. So by astronomy, the pole star is the pivot star around which all celestial bodies move, and that's how calculations are made. Now I'll go to the next text, which is text 26. This text 26 translation. At the time of the final devastation of the complete universe, the end of the duration of Brahma's life, a flame of fire emanates from the mouth of Ananta, from the bottom of the universe. The yogi sees all the planets of the universe burning to ashes, and thus he leaves for Shattaloka by airplanes used by the great purified souls. The duration of life in Shattaloka is calculated to be 15.48 trillion years. Purport. It is indicated herein that the residents of Mahaloka, where the purified living entities or demigods possess a duration of life calculated to be 4.3 billion solar years, have airships by which they reach Shattaloka, the topmost planet of the universe. In other words, the Srimad Bhagavatam gives us many clues about other planets far, far away from us, which modern planes and spacecraft cannot reach, even by imaginary speeds. The statements of Srimad Bhagavatam are accepted by great acharyas like Sridhara Swami, Ramanujacharya, and Vallabhacharya. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically accepts Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Vedic authority, and as such, no sane man can ignore the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam when it is spoken by the self-realized soul, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who follows in the footsteps of his great father, Srila Vasudeva, the compiler of all Vedic literatures. In the creation of the Lord, there are many wonderful things we can see with our own eyes every day and night, but we are unable to reach them, equipped by modern materialistic science. We should not therefore depend on the fragmentary authority of materialistic science for knowing things beyond the range of scientific purview. For a common man, both modern science and Vedic wisdom are simply to be accepted because none of the statements, either the modern science or of Vedic literature, can be verified by him. The alternative for a common man is to believe either of them or both of them. The Vedic way of understanding, however, is more authentic because it has been accepted by the acharyas, who are not only faithful and learned men, but also liberated souls without any of the flaws of conditioned souls. The modern scientists, however, are conditioned souls liable to so many errors and mistakes. Therefore, the safe side is to accept the authentic version of Vedic literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam, which is accepted unanimously by the great acharyas. So basically, I just went through the three texts, 24 to 26, and read the purports also. So now I would just like to highlight a few more important things from this particular lecture of Maharaja. Now, when he was explaining, as per the purport, when we are explaining an accomplished yogi, the journey of an accomplished yogi, it is also important that the transcendentalist yogi also has to be free from desire, because any form of desire will basically mean that it's a material enjoyment. And if anyone is having a desire or even a curiosity, that means that person will have to take birth in one of the material planets. So it's written, Prabhupada described like this: when the yogi leaves his body, the soul passes. Very similar description as is found in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The soul passes through all the different planetary systems, and if the soul is fixed upon achieving the supreme, the soul goes directly to the supreme. So basically, it is saying that fixing upon the supreme will mean that someone will have to become desireless. That is the term which we have, Onno Bhilashita Shunno, without any material desires. Only when one can attain that stage, only then one can go to the Supreme. Otherwise, even if one is an accomplished yogi, a transcendental yogi, that he or she will also keep on having birth on the different material planets. One thing to all Prabhus and Matajis here, I am just sharing my understanding from this. So if there is any mistake I'm making, I would like to request you all to please rectify me so that I also can learn with all of you. Okay, so thank you, Prabhus and Matajis. Hare Krishna. Okay, so basically here, then what we are saying is that like one has to become onno bhilashita shunno, without any material desires. Another important thing for spiritual life is also is onukullasha sankalpa pratikullasha varjanam, which basically means that in the Krishna conscious world, anything that is favoring Krishna consciousness, that should be taken up. And anything, if it is going against Krishna consciousness or takes someone away from Krishna, that should be rejected straight away. So you accept the things which lead one closer to Krishna, and those things that do not, they are to be rejected. The focus should be always on Krishna, pleasing Krishna, remembering Krishna, never forget Krishna. And anything which takes attention away from Krishna, that we have to say no, thank you to that. Here, another important thing which Prabhupada discussed is about improved standard of living. Now, what do we mean by improved standard of living? Basically, whatever we think in material terms that our living standard is improving, but as per Prabhupada, that is not actually the case, because standard of living, when we say that we are improving our standards of living, basically, as per Prabhupada, it's just a polished way of doing the same things, because what animals do and what human beings do, they are four main things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So as per Prabhupada, that when we are saying that we are improving our standard of living, we are actually not doing anything extra other than eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but we are doing it in a polished way. For example, that a dog will eat from the street, but we will eat from plates. They are staying on the road, we are staying in houses. Same way they are defending with their nails and teeth, and we are defending with sophisticated instruments like your guns and missiles and things like that. So although we might call it a improvement of standard of living, in reality or from a spiritual point of view, that is not actually any improvement. So improvement will basically mean when one is able to progress spiritually. Spiritual progress, and this spiritual progress, Bhagavatam actually gives us the guidance or teaches us what this spiritual progress means. Because we are not able to control ourselves spiritually, because everything of us is fully material. We have material body because we have material desires, and to fulfill those desires we have to take birth on these material planets. So everything, our mind, our desires, everything is basically governed by material things. So to segregate from that and focus on spiritual things, it's very important that we have some guidance, and it is Srimad Bhagavatam that gives us that guidance, that how we can focus on spiritual life. So this is what Prahalad Maharaja describes his classmates. The material world is so designed, there's always something to distract you from the spiritual purpose of life, and so spiritual guidance is necessary to get to the spiritual essence and value of life. Even if someone understands there's something more to life than this, that something more requires guidance. So the Bhagavatam is giving that guidance. Now, when someone is able to focus on spiritual consciousness, then there are a lot of changes that happen. Here, of course, we are talking of a very elevated personality, Dhruva Maharaj, and we can see that how by meditating upon Shira Dakshay Vishnu, he attained so much of spiritual energy that he was able to stop his breathing, he could stop eating, he could stop drinking. And because of that, the demigods had to approach Shiradakshay Vishnu. They went to the shore of the milk ocean and they pleaded with Shiradakshay Vishnu. The universal breathing is choked up. Because Dhruva had learned to suspend his breathing, so he was taking a breath every 15 days. So here basically it is showing that spiritual ones, when one is having this spiritual ability, then they have actually some lot of abilities. That is what is being called here some higher order adjustment. The higher order adjustment was consciousness fixed upon the personality of Godhead. Just like we were discussing, when one becomes Krishna conscious, one can do things which ordinarily one cannot do, like stop breathing. He stopped eating and he stopped drinking water. So it's the spiritual energy that was sustaining his life. Transcendentalists, they have a spiritual body and they can derive a lot of strength from their devotional service, austerities, mystic power, and transcendental knowledge. They can have movements that become unrestricted. Now, devotees also, they have mystic powers, just like the transcendentalists have. But what Prabhupada says that generally they are not interested in showing those mystic powers. The reason is their focus is so much on Krishna and service to Krishna that they want to use it only if it is in favor of Krishna. And another reason also is that if people start using mystic powers, it might attract the general population also, and their focus, instead of being on Krishna consciousness, it might become on those mystic powers. So that is why very rarely devotees generally use mystic powers. Those who are pure devotees and have mystic powers, they very rarely use those mystic powers. But on another occasion, Prabhupada said that actually to the devotees, they are naturally endowed by Krishna with mystic powers, but they don't like to exhibit them, because ordinary persons will become covetous to Krishna and covetous of mystic powers. Oh, I want that mystic power instead of wanting Krishna consciousness. Here, when we were speaking about the accomplished yogi passing through the different planets, so here it is mentioned about what those planets are. In a very simple classification, there is heaven, there is hell, and in between there is this earth planet where we all reside. And then there is another classification which says that there are total 14 planetary systems. So out of that, 7 are considered the higher planetary systems, 7 are lower, and in between is our Earth is somewhere in between. So these are those planets: Bhumangala, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Shargaloka, and then Mahalloka, Januloka, Tapaloka, Brahmaloka. So those are those 14 planetary planets. Then here Maharaj was mentioning about there are certain grihasthas who are very, very elevated and they are above the desires of heavenly pleasures. So if someone is having heavenly pleasures, I mean the desires of heavenly pleasures, then my understanding is they will be taking birth in the heavenly planets. And if you are not having desires in the heavenly planets, there, I mean, certain grihasthas are there, they are attracted to the performance. That means the happiness of performance of yagna. So if they are having that happiness, then they are, because of their sincerity, that the Supreme Lord comes before them when they are performing yagna and receive their offerings personally. They see him, they personally make the offerings to him, he accepts it, and when the yagna is over, he disappears. Here, in fact, for the third verse, 26, I don't think I read the report. No, I think I have read it already. Here, basically, Prabhupada is focusing on how scientific knowledge is so limited, whereas whatever wisdom we get from the Vedic scripture, that is very, very highly elevated, and how for normal human beings like us, who are having our senses are very imperfect, we actually cannot understand how fingernails are growing or how one can digest food, because this entire process involved is so complex and so complicated. So our scientific research and whatever scientists do is also very, very limited. So basically it makes sense to depend on the wisdom that is coming through Vedic scriptures, through this disciplic succession. That is what we should be giving more importance to. And that is what Maharaj is also saying, that there's none of the statements of either modern science or Vedic literature can be verified by any one of us. So the alternative is to believe either of them or both of them. And taking knowledge from the infallible source is the superior system, because that's the Vedic system. It gives us comprehensive empiric in the sense of quantifiable knowledge. Prabhupada often quoted the verse that says how many species there are of aquatics. 9 lakh aquatics, 2 million insects, and so many birds, and so many animals in exact numbers, and so many species of humans. Where is the scientist that can count all of those species of plants and get them all? It's not possible, because many of them are outside this planet, not available on the Earth planet. Here also this portion is very interesting. It basically says that intellectuals lead, the head leads the rest of the body. And if the intellectuals have a gross misunderstanding of the way things are, the whole society becomes disturbed. Spiritual knowledge, one must be situated in the quality of goodness. Conversely, if one is not situated in the quality of goodness, one will not be able to understand the spiritual knowledge. And come to that stage where one has Brahmanical quality requires training, and that's what we are getting training. Regardless of background or birth, we are getting training in Vaishnava principles, and Vaishnava principles, regardless of your propensity for work, trains one in Brahmanical quality or the quality of goodness. It promotes the quality of goodness through training. Prabhupada explains that by birth, everyone has their particular occupation. By guna and karma, we take a body, and according to the influence of guna and karma, we have some occupation. The only way that's going to change it, if there's a training through Krishna consciousness, one promotes the quality of goodness by directing our attention to Krishna and living our life with purity and principle according to our position. That transforms the quality, it builds character on the foundation of the spiritual platform. That's the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the training we are getting. Whatever our quality may be, just like I was mentioning this morning, the miracle of transforming fallen souls into Vaishnavas, it's mystical. So this is one reason why we should release on the Vedic scriptures more, that descending knowledge. Because if we are relying on something which is pratyaksha and anuman, direct sense perception or logic and reason, fallible conclusions are inevitable. Here also, one very important thing Maharaj was mentioning, that to become spiritual, it's basically the consciousness that is very important. The consciousness with which one executes the duties of that position makes it spiritual, basically. It's actually very complicated, but basically spirituality is a consciousness, the consciousness with which one operates. It's the consciousness behind those activities that elevates the activity and does not further entangle one in the complexities of material nature. But if that consciousness is missing, you certainly become implicated in the complexities of material nature and the reactions. Here also this portion was very nice, where it is said, how can parents cultivate a relationship of love and trust with their children, with Guru and Krishna in the center? If the parent has a consciousness of their life being with Guru and Krishna in the center, it naturally flows that the relationship with the children will be with Guru and Krishna in the center, because the children mold their lives or imitate in so many ways the character, the behavior, and patterns of speech and so forth of the parents. So do the same things that you do with your children, and the qualities that you carry will be passed on to your children with Guru and Krishna in the center. Here also, this portion was also nice, where we are talking about seeing Lord in the nature. So seeing Lord in the nature is basically, there are two things, two aspects. One is the Virat Rupa, where itself in nature we are seeing different parts of the nature as different parts of God's body. Like rivers are his veins, the hills are his stack of his bones, clouds in the sky are his tufts of hair. The moon and the sun are his two eyes, the trees are his hairs standing on the body, seeing things of nature in relation to the body, this is called Virat Rupa. And the other simple way of seeing God within nature, that's just the beauty and the serenity of nature. Because when you see something very beautiful and serene of the nature, naturally the feeling comes. It cannot be something other than some from a supreme power, which is none other than God. So this is the way of seeing God in the nature. And this second chapter, God within the heart, it is actually very specific. It's a spiritual form with certain features of that form, certain shape and ornaments and objects and so forth, and fully spiritual, not made of material elements, but it's a fully spiritual composition. So that is basically, it covers more or less everything of this. I'm sorry if I sounded boring, but if anyone would like to share any of your sharings, please.
Sharbari Mataji, thank you for taking up this effort for all of us. And I have one thing to you. Anything that you found it striking or something which raised a question in your mind, Mataji, from your either hearing or reading of the lecture content, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Hamkun Prabhu. In fact, there are many questions that I also had, but like here, the 14 planets which are being spoken about, I could not find clarity of what those 14 planets are basically. And even the locations of those planets, sometimes they are saying Shuktaloka is the highest, sometimes, I mean, the hierarchy also I couldn't find out from this lecture. But anyway, and but otherwise, I mean, I had some questions, Prabhu, basically around those, the planets and the hierarchy of the planets.
Yeah, maybe Kumarika Mataji or Yogalakesha Prabhu can answer that. Please do say.
Marika Mataji, are you there on the call? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I'm on the call, but little bit distracted.
Okay.
The 14 planets, of course, 5 are above us. The Swargaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka. Actually, Maharloka comes first, then Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then the topmost is the Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. Either or, they are synonyms. So those 5 above us are called the higher planetary system. Then middle Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka comes in the middle, so they are called the middle planetary system. And below us there are 7 planets: Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Talatala, Patala. So Rasatala also. So all those 7 planets, the lowermost one is Patala Loka. So all those 7 planets, they are the lower planetary system. And as such, if you have an imaginary, when the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, from him, the navel sprouts the stem of the lotus, and then on the top is the lotus flower on which Brahmaji is residing. So if you see that it is all around the stem of the lotus flower which is coming, that these planets are all arranged. All the 14 planetary system. This is in each universal, that oval thing which we are seeing in the now Prabhu has shown us. So in that you will see the if you zoom, you can see along the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu's that lotus, everything is arranged. That is my little understanding.
Thank you, Mataji. You said it very clearly about the 14 planets. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Just some more points on that. So below 7, Earth planet, middle 1, and then above us are 7. So this is 14 planets, and the topmost is Satya Loka, are also called as Brahma Loka. And we see in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartito Arjuna. And Bhagavad Gita says that even if we get to the topmost planet, still it does not actually make us free from the cycle of repeated birth and death. And when people talk, so there's earthly planet, then like we say that Om Bhur Bhu Bhuvar Bhuvaswa, right? So people talk about the Bhu Bhuvar Loka and Swarga Loka. So some faith typically talk about only the heavenly planets, going to the heavenly planets, and they think that this is the topmost. But from the our philosophy and from especially Bhagavatam perspective, that the Swargaloka is just within the material realm, within this universe, and outside of this, so this whole universe is called as Brahmanda, and it is a kind of a andas egg kind of a thing. It has a cell. The cell has the 7 layers, and the next one is a 10 times bigger than the previous one. Then it has that earth, water, fire, air, ether, those kind of 7 coverings, and beyond that is the river, Viraja river, and then we have the spiritual world, starting from the Brahman, then we have Vaikuntha, and then topmost is the Golok Vrindavan.
So when we talk of Vaikuntha planets, those are in the spiritual world, Prabhu.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but Shuttaloka, Brahmaloka, they will be in the material
Yeah,
world.
within this universal realm.
Okay.
And the beauty of is that um, if you see this, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, disciple or something who has draw this thing. The beauty is that if you see the person who is in this material world, and you see that there is one connection going all the way, zigzag way, and top to that, it is only the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra which can actually take us from this universal material planet all the way, crossing these layers and going to the spiritual world. It is only the Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Yoga. You see that the white line there? I'm not able to see, but I think that is the Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, I can see it. It's very
Yes,
clear.
yes. That is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this one universe is just one of the unlimited universes that is coming from the Mahavishnu. And this material realm is only the 1/4 creation of our dear Lord Krishna. And then there is a 3/4 of creation is the spiritual world. So it is beyond our imagination. When Prabhupada was asked, we are just like in the sack of mustard seed. One seed is also not there, and we think that we are very great. Maharaj will always give the example that one devotee asked, how is that, how can we become humble? And His Holiness Rampasa Maharaj would give that. Srila Prabhupada give this answer 2-3 times, but the same thing, that Lord's creation is a 3/4. And in that 3/4 is a spiritual, 1/4 is a material. There is unlimited universes. One universe is this, and all so many things. So that is the thing. Does that help, Mataji?
Yes, yes, it helps a lot. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
And just one more point, Mataji, that even if you go to these planets above us, even if you go to the Swarga Loka, and to enjoy Madi, if you go there and enjoy that, then we again come Bhagavad Gita 9.29 or something, which says that Kshine Punne Marte Loka Vishanti. So we go to these heaven upper planetary systems. So there mostly that the enjoyment is much higher level, intensified, and much better level. However, we see from our acharyas that it is that as long as we have that Kshine Punne Marte Loka Vishanti, as long as we have credit there, we go there. As soon as our credit is over, we come back to this Marte Loka. And that is where we again get into the action and the results, and that means like the karma. So the karma actually works particularly on this earthly planet.
And the yogis, Prabhu, that as per those texts 24 to 26, then they can travel to these material planets as well as to the spiritual planets?
See, these yogis can travel, depend on, for example, great devotees like Naradji. I'm talking about the Naradji. The Devarsi Naradji. So you can travel from material world to the spiritual world. But the yogis, those who are mentioned, they can go up to the Satyaloka, Brahmaloka. And in third canto of Srila Prabhupada, third canto of last four chapter, 31, 32, 33, 34, in that it is mention of the destination of these yogis. They directly don't go to the spiritual world. They at most go to the Brahma Loka, and along with Brahma, they stay there. And then once Brahma goes to the spiritual world, they go along with Brahma.
And what is Dhruva Loka, Prabhu? Is that because what I was understanding, that is the highest in the material planet, but that is not the case, right? Dhruva Loka.
Dhruva Loka is a different thing. Dhruva Loka within the material realm, but like a spiritual planet, given by, awarded by Lord Krishna to our Vishnu, to Dhruva Maharaj. But
Okay.
it is still within the material realm, but like a spiritual things.
Thank you.
And in the fifth canto, it actually says that the constructions or the planetary system of this Dhruva, it is above the our this, but within the material realm.
Just like Dhruva Loka is given to King Dhruva, same way this Brahma Loka is meant for Brahma?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And that is the topmost planetary system within this material realm.
Because he is the creator of the material, and that's how probably.
Yeah. And that is how Prabhupada says that he's the first engineer. And but he though he's a creator, you would have heard from his Holiness Ramapaswami Maharaj earlier that he's the secondary creator. He's not the primary creator. So what does it mean, the secondary Sarga Visargo? The secondary creator means the main blueprint and the main elements are created by Lord, and then he, from that he creates. And the third canto, as we hear continuously from here, that how he creates the different living entities, that would be explained. And that was the service of Brahma Devji. If anybody, any devotees want to add, maybe they can add.
Thank you, Prabhu, so much. It was very nice. Whatever you explained, it's very informative also. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Bhattaji, you were able to follow these pictures which I showed?
Yes, yes, Prabhu, I'm able to see. Very nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
So yeah, this is the spiritual world. This is the material world. One
you.
Brahmanda, and within the Brahmanda, these are the 14 planet system. Seven. That's all the devotees have explained.
So, Prabhu, will be nice if you can share this in our morning lecture group also, these pictures.
Sure, Mataji. I'll share.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
One question here, Prabhu, that actually in middle level planet means Bhuloka and Bhavarloka also will come, as Mataji told, Kumarika Mataji, or only Earth?
Prabhu, they are talking about the planetary system. So not just planet. So in planetary system, it includes Earth and a lot of other things like we have this I'm forgetting Kim Purusha Loka and etc. Everything. Jambu Dvipa and all. So this comes under Bhuloka. So when they in Shastra when they talk, they're not talking about here in the planetary system. They don't talk about the just one planet. It's entire planetary system. Prabhu.
Yeah, I understood, Prabhu, that lower 7 planets like Atala, Altalas are there in lower planets, and middle level is Earth planet, as per my understanding, and higher level is that 6, Pavarloka, Savarloka, and Mahaloka, Tapaloka, and all. So, but Kumarika Matas just now she told that these two are comes under middle level, yeah.
Acha, Bhu and
That's
Bhur Loka. Acha. Fine.
yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have one question. This lower planetary systems also having the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to elevate their souls.
As I understand, the access of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is everywhere, even the upper planetary system and lower planetary system. But they are more materially engrossed. And that's the reason they are not able to take up this process of devotional service. That's why the birth on the earthly planet is considered more pious, so that people have that tendency to take the devotional service. Otherwise, other planetary systems are more engrossed into the materialism. That's what my understanding from.
So it means only Bhuloka we have this option for Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Options everywhere, but the inclination is more in our planetary system.
Kun Prabhu, you would like to add anything?
Yeah, Prabhu, Chandrakeshwar Prabhu, you can just see this middle planet. It's written subtle and gross. And more if you go, the higher planet system, things are more subtle, and lower planet system more gross. So, so somewhere we have opportunity more in the middle planetary system, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I am just seeing on the screen what you are explaining. Thank you, Prabhu. I think I am just thinking where we have only Earth planetary system only having the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the people who fall in the earthly planet, they have chances to go highest planetary system where back to Godhead.
Even our Balidev also now went to Patala, right? Not Patala, I think below somewhere. So now he is ruling that one means so he might have propagate there.
Bali Maharaj is in Sutala, Prabhu. Here is the Sutala, you can see. Right?
So if he,
Sutala is bottom, here is
yeah.
Sutala. So he is the Sutala planetary system.
So if he goes there means he will propagate from Prabhu. So like that maybe they will get a chance to have this Mahamantra.
Those details, Prabhu, I don't have. Maybe other devotees can share. One interesting thing is that our Earth, it actually was dropped into this lower planetary system, and somewhere I heard that it's more muddy in nature. That's why the Lord came as a Varaha Deva. 2 days ago we have Varaha Dwadashi, right? So why he came in the Varaha avatar? Because the Earth, which fell into the extreme lower planetary system, it was very much muddy. So that's why the Lord came as a boar form, and then he rescued Mother Earth from that place, and then he moved. Yeah, we can. Ramakunda Prabhu, we would like to hear from you. We just
I think I heard from Sharbari Mataji, I heard from you, Yugalakishore Prabhu, and all of you, Kumarika Mataji. That's it, Prabhu. Thank you. Nothing else to add from my side.
So we can discontinue the call here, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So after this we will meet online after 2 weeks, Mataji.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you wrote that 27.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
thank
you
you,
all for
Sharbari
the
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Sharbari Mataji.